Record. Aha! I bet you didn't know you could do that, did you? Record with one of these cable release things. This is one of them cheap eBay cable release things. You can actually use it for video. Handy little button if you can't get to your video camera. They're a handy little way of getting to the shutter. Anyway, in this video I'm going to be talking about cheap camera gear, but not cheap crap. Cheap gear that I'd actually recommend. Now that means I'm comparing it to basically what you could spend a fortune on, and this is the cheap equivalent and whether or not it's junk. So the other day I was going through trying to chuck a load of stuff on eBay that I thought I could sell if I wasn't using, and it turns out we all buy a load of crap. It turned out we're buying an awful lot of crap that has no resale value whatsoever. So I was trying to make a few quid, buy some more lenses, and you buy more crap basically, you know, Scott. So I was trying to buy more crap, and lots of it I obviously didn't pay anything for it in the first place, so I just had to bin it. But there were some things I thought, do you know what, that's fantastic, and that didn't cost me any money. That was like a couple of quid, and that's been brilliant. I can't believe I've still got that. That was only like a tenner or whatever. So yeah, I thought I'd do a video on some cheap photography gear, which I absolutely love, and I definitely recommend. So I've got quite a lot to get through, so let's jump straight into it. And with the first thing I always buy, if I'm buying a new camera, I've just not long ago bought the Z7. Now the first thing I will buy before I've even order the camera, the first thing I'll buy is a cheap twin battery charger. This is a twin charger. It comes with the lead in the back of this one. So this one's for the Nikon. I've got one for the Fuji as well. Now these are less than, I don't buy them with the batteries. I never buy cheap batteries, but these are less than 15 quid, I think, off Amazon, eBay, or something like that. So for about 15 quid, you can get as long as you get proper decent batteries. I'll never recommend cheap batteries, but especially when you were shooting, I was doing videos with the old Fuji batteries, it's imperative, absolutely essential, you can't leave the house without a twin charger for the Fuji batteries, because you're going to need to put them both on charge within an hour of getting there. So yeah, very, very cheap, 100% recommend them. This one plugs into a USB thing, so I can charge it in the car as well, a little lead built in there. So I've got one for the Nikon, I've got one for the Fuji. The new Fuji, the X-T4, which I'm filming on now, this is the twin charger for that, and it's 60 quid. So it's triple, I think more than triple, the price I paid for this cheap, crappy thing off Amazon, which works absolutely perfect for the Z7, and obviously for the Fuji. So yeah, get one of them. I absolutely 100% insist, nay demand, you get a twin charger. They're amazing. But yeah, not cheap batteries. Next thing I'll buy before I've even had the camera delivered to the house is an L bracket. So this one's a Smallrig L bracket. Now I love L brackets for a few reasons. I've got massive hands, so for me they just add that extra bit of grip for next to no money. They protect the camera. It means that I haven't got to put any. I always shoot all my tripods are Anker heads, so that all the tripods, no matter which camera I use, will go straight onto the top of the thing. So this one was about 30 quid. But they do. I've got one for the X-T4 that was 30 quid, and I've got one for the X-T4 that was 60 quid. So you can spend a couple of quid. But you can also spend about 150 quid on the freaking thing. So my mate's got one. Can't remember. It's probably really right stuff or something stupid. And it was 150 quid. It looks the same. I can't see the difference. So yeah, for less than 50 quid or thereabouts, these are amazing, and they protect your camera, and obviously it means you can shoot vertically. With these ones you can screw stuff into the side if you want lights or anything like that. You could, on this one, you could unscrew the base and then that will pop out the side so I can get to all my leads. But they're so cheap. This one, the X100V, the Fuji, that was about 15 quid. It's JJC. Adds loads of grip. I can't hold the camera without it. Loads of grip, and I can put it down without being precious because it's going to protect the bottom of there. Obviously this isn't an L bracket, it's just a bracket, I guess. But yeah, absolutely worth every penny of, and they're built like, they're solid, and they fit perfect. Perfect. JJC, this one is for the X100. HG X100V for the off JJC. About 15 quid off Amazon. Absolutely amazing. I will never, even if I don't use it on a regular basis, I'll always have an L bracket that will fit a camera. Definitely. You can get universal ones, they're like a tenner as well. Definitely get an L bracket. Next thing is step-up rings. Now, if I show you on this camera, this is cool, isn't it? Isn't that cool? So this is a 58mm lens, but then this thing on the front, which screws on, is 58 to 77, which means by screwing that, I bet I can't get this back on now. This is about 3 or 4 quid off eBay, right? It ain't going back on, is it? Not while I'm filming. Oh, it is. So that is now 77mm thread capable. So I can put my polarizer, which will fit on that, well, all my cameras, anything that will take a 77mm, I can slap straight on there. So the idea is you buy a step-up ring. You might have to double up step-up rings, but if you can get a step-up ring that will go to your biggest lens, your biggest filter, sorry. So find out what your biggest screw-on filter or your biggest, say like filter adapter, like a filter holder, that sort of thing. Find out what your biggest one is, and then make sure you buy a set or individual ones of these off eBay, and just step up from the 58 that this is to the 77 to the 86 to the whatever your biggest filter is. That way you've only got to buy one set of filters, save your fortune there, and if you carry your filter set with you, as long as all your lenses have got the same adapted range, so they all go up to 77 or they all go up to 82, you can just swap the filters over to different cameras just by slapping them on the front. These things are cheap as chips. And the other thing is, again, they protect the front of your lens. When you take them off, I mean, I don't take them off, but when you go to sell a lens and you take, like this one, I've never used a filter on this little 50mm. But when you take that off, it protects the front of your lens. Your lens will be mint on the front. So it just adds that bit of protection, because I don't use lens caps. It just adds that bit of protection against the front of the lens. So yeah, about 5 quid off eBay. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got an ND8 that will fit on this, but I've never used it. So these are all 52mm. So my ND8 will be 52, and it'll fit on all little. Yeah, you get the idea. What's next? Grey card. A what? A grey card. You don't know what a grey? Of course you know what a grey card is. That's a grey card. If you don't know what a grey card is, and it's basically to get your white balance bang on. If you're shooting video like we are now, and there, you'll get your white balance meter off that, and then you'll lock it with that. So you'll take a white balance meter off that one, you take a white balance meter off that one, and then you lock the white balance to the same grey. So your camera will read that neutral grey, and it means that if you've got multiple cameras, if I'm doing a commercial video shoot and I've got multiple cameras, I'm always going to get the white balance bang on, because unlike with photography, if you're shooting raw, obviously then you could adjust the white balance in post in Lightroom, dead easy. Wait till you get back. What's the point in setting manual focus, manual white balance? But when you're doing video, you can't use auto white balance because things change and it looks crap. It looks really, really weird if your white balance is on auto. So you always want to have your white balance in manual, and you always want to be using something like this fella to get it locked in perfectly. So you know that when I start filming, I'll always put this in front of see the light catching it? I'll always put that there, and then I'll take a lock it. You get the idea. So that, but this is less than 15 quid. Cool. That's the white balance card. Grey card. Fantastic. I won't go to an event without one of these. End of. People think, what the hell's he got there? But I won't. They save so much hassle later trying to get your white balance right if you've forgotten it, which I have done on a few occasions. Next one, a bit of a random one. I'm going to do this quick because I've got quite a lot to go through. Ta-da! There you go, go that side. Foam sit mat. A what? This is just to plonk your backside on when you're doing landscape photography, but if you're sitting on a cold rock, you've just got jeans on or something like that, and you haven't got any waterproof trousers, and it's cold and it's wet, these are absolutely life-saving. I've got 2 or 3. This is an expensive one, 15 quid, because it's got foil on one side, but I've got cheap ones, 3 or 4 quid off Amazon, do the exact same thing. Honestly, just get the cheap one. This is a Thermarest Z seat, and they keep your bum warm. Very, very handy. I wouldn't go hiking or camping, or I'd just leave them in my camera bag, because it's just, if you haven't got anything to sit on, you've got weight ages for your photograph, just sit on one of them. It's comfortable. They're great little things. But as I said, they do them for about 3 or 4 quid, normally blue. So yeah, do get one of them out. I'll put a link in the bottom, obviously. Check out the foam sit mat. Next thing is this absolute game changer. Now, if you're like me and shoot Fuji with the old batteries for video, you'll know how much they suck, right? So this is a Anker power bank. Now it's a special one though, because it's not just a power bank. Oh no, that wouldn't be good enough for Gareth just to have a normal power bank. This one is called a Power Core Essential 20,000 PD. The PD is the important bit because it means that the USB-C there will run and power the XT3. Even, I believe, my laptop, my MacBook Pro, I've never tried it, but apparently it does run off that as well. So it's strong enough to actually not only charge, but run the camera. So if I'm doing interviews, I usually use it. When I was doing the XT3 on this, before I had the XT4, I'd have to use this because if I did a couple of takes, a couple of videos, whatever, it would definitely mean changing batteries halfway through and it drove you nuts. So I used to Velcro one of these on the side and plug it in, and I can do pretty much a day's recording on this bad boy. So yeah, definitely. This was about 35 quid. Now when they came out, they were about 80 quid. So I'm sure they were, because I remember thinking I'd love one, but I'm not paying 80 quid for it. I got this on Amazon for about 35 quid. I will buy another, at least one. They're amazing, honestly. They are game changing. And anything that runs, I think, off USB-C will run off that. So definitely pick one of them up. I'm going to be buying another one very soon. Okay, this little fella, I've just had another one arrive because I've got so many of them. This is a Smallrig. I like Smallrig stuff. I think they're a good brand. I think you can kind of trust everything they make. This is a Smallrig ball head, obviously, but it's tiny and it's very, very strong. I've got one's underneath the XT4 now. I've got one on a few of my video camera, video tripods that come with a crap head. I'll always just stick one of these on because they're 20 quid and they're absolutely brilliant. They really are strong, and if you lock it in, they pan really quite well as well. So I think as cheap ball heads go, I hate cheap that sort of thing because you put in potentially £3 worth of stuff on, aren't you? So I wouldn't put anything nuts on it. I wouldn't put that on it. You know, I wouldn't put anything like the big lens or anything like that. But for a standard setup, nice and small, it doesn't weigh anything. And if I leave the tripod and this on a job, I've only lost, say, 60 quid. I haven't lost like 350 quid, which I've nearly left my big Benros on jobs a few times. So this thing, I think for the money, is absolutely brilliant. It comes obviously with the Anker plate on the top there. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful things. And a bit like Niwa, I like Smallrig. I think they're a good brand. Now another thing I haven't got yet, I only just discovered when I was researching something else. I discovered that Smallrig actually make a fold-away tool. If you've got one of these, let me know, because years ago I had one that was about the size of this remote thing, and if you went anywhere like travelling, I remember going to Italy to do a wedding and they won't let you through customs with it, so you can't bring it. I went skiing and the one for the snowboard was the same sort of thing. It was just Allen keys basically that it sticks out of it. I'll stick a picture up. And they're brilliant. They're 30 quid and there's no danger. There's not, they're airport friendly basically, so you can always keep it in your camera bag. And I just think it's so important to have things that can tighten up the bases of these, tighten up your tripods, anything that comes, these things come loose. You know, one of my video lights on the back of it, they're always coming loose, these things, so you always need them. And yeah, 30 quid, so I haven't got it yet, but it looks amazing. I'm sure it'll be fine because it's just an Allen key, but yeah, worth every penny of 30 quid, that is. Next thing is this, randomly, this last minute entry actually. This, do you know what that is? Have a guess. See what that is? I'll give you a clue. It's got stuff all in it because I've just used it, but it's a coffee filter and it doesn't weigh anything, and it was 12 quid, and then you put your coffee in there, your little granules, and it's basically, if I do that, I can't tell you how good this is. There's a little filter there. I've just used it. It's got coffee still in it. I take this on jobs with me, so it fits inside your cup, inside your actual travel cup, and then you put your granules in there, you put that on there, and then you sit it on your cup, and then you pour your water and it drips through, so you get a nice coffee. Now if you're camping, hiking, just doing a bit early sunrise or whatever like that, and you've got a jet boil or something to boil hot water, get one of these. It's 12 quid. I've had this about 2 years. My mate Grant spotted this in a camping shop and I thought it was going to be junk, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's far lighter than my AeroPress. I've got a couple of AeroPresses that never get used now because this thing is so light. I even take it to work with me if I know that the customer is going to have crap coffee facilities. I'll buy a bag of cheap coffee from Aldi, which I love, and bring this with me and my little travel cup, and I'm happy as Larry. I've even been known to use this in traffic jams and sit there and make myself a coffee. It is that good. I absolutely love it, and as I say, it just folds away like this. honestly, it's one of the best things I've ever bought. I'm going to buy another one because I've had this ages and I use it. I've literally used it every day in the lockdown and whatnot, making coffee at home and stuff. So cool. Fits inside your mug. Brilliant. Well, one of the best 12 quids I ever bought. I do love me coffee. On the same sort of vein, we've got the water to go bottle. These are amazing. If you do hiking and everything like me, always run out of water. So you'll always bring like 1.5 litres if you're doing a hike, at least 1.5 litres, aim for 2 litres. But it means that you can use if you're going near a stream or just somewhere where I suppose anywhere in the UK, you've got with no dead animals by a stream or anywhere that anybody's going to be using it as a toilet. But if you've got cleanest running water, just scoop your water into this, filter at the top, shake it up, leave it a couple of minutes or whatever, and it's absolutely brilliant. I've run out of water pretty much every time I've done a big hike. I've come down the mountain knowing that if I see a stream, I can just fill this up and use this. And I've got cold mountain water, which is one of my favourite things in the world. Straight into this. I absolutely love it. This is my second one. These are about £13–14. They do different versions, but the principle is amazing. I just wish it collapsed. And I don't know if the plastic's good for the environment or what, but it says, hey, helping to save the planet on the back of it. All right, okay, so, and yeah, you just buy refillable filters. Fantastic water to go bottle, brilliant. Really, really love that. Next thing, let's do this quickly. Next thing is this fella. Weird looking thing, and it is one of the best 40 quids I've ever spent. Now it's basically a leveling base, so it goes on your tripod and then your ball head would go on there, but it means you haven't got to get your tripod perfectly level if you want to do panoramics. So if you're faffing for ages trying to use the tripod, I don't know what that was, trying to use the bubble on the tripod to get your legs all perfect, and so that when you sweep your camera around, you don't get any like, level images like this in Photoshop or Lightroom, which you've got to try and deal with, and then you end up with loads of gaps all around because your software can only get that bit level. This thing, if you use this, you just get that bit right, and then you pan across, and you've got this little bubble there. I'm making this really difficult to understand. It's really easy. It's absolutely fantastic, and I put it on every single time I go out. This will come with me. It's absolutely fantastic. It means that my panoramics are always a couple of mil out of being perfect. This is brilliant. I know Benro make one. I know Siri make one. I'm sure all the big guns make one. 40 quid. Benro's is about 120. This is 3 or 4 years old, and I wish it did tighten up quicker, and I wish it wasn't 400 grams, because that on top of your tripod, if you've got a really, really light tripod, here I am again, can knock your top of your tripod off balance a little bit. But yeah, I wish it wasn't so heavy, but it is fantastic. 45 quid, very, very well spent. I can't recommend. I've loads of my mates have picked these up after I've screamed at them to get one. So yeah, that is definitely worth picking up. Last on the list, I was very, very close not to include these, but basically, Peak Design. Everybody knows, you know what Peak Design is, for goodness sake. I ain't gonna tell you what Peak Design is. So capture clips. What they call them? No, capture clips, the other thing. So this is the anchors. That's what they call the anchors that go on your camera. Obviously, you clip that too, and then that goes around your wrist. And if you're doing street photography, now I'm going to make a fool of myself now. Oh, it ain't. No, it ain't. There it is. He's on there. So I can straight away put that on this. And if I'm doing street photography, it's game changing. This is reasonably priced. I'd say this was about 20 quid, I guess, I don't know. But this is amazing, worth every penny. This one is amazing as well for street photography because it's super, super light, although after a while they do start sliding a little bit. I wish they were a bit tighter. I wish they didn't sort of like, you start off with your camera up here and they end up coming down a little bit. I wish they didn't do that. This one's brand new because I lost my other one about 3 years ago and I forgot to replace it. And if I'm using the big camera with the big lens and it's not on a tripod and I'm walking, I need a wider one. This I don't find particularly good value. It's all right. I mean, it's 60 quid. But again, I remember the other one I had, which was the thicker version of this, used to move a little bit. So hopefully the new version they've corrected that. But yeah, the Peak Designs, that's a slide light. Don't know. And that's the leash. I don't know what that's called. So yeah, that's everything. I think. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, I tried to do this as quick as possible because I didn't want to be before a long video. But yeah, hopefully there's something here that you... Oh yeah, I wanted to mention something I absolutely hate. It's just a random chuck one in there, and it's this frigging thing. And it's not just that one, it's the one that's in the side of my MacBook Pro now, if you can see it. Can you see it? No. So this plugs into the MacBook Pro. It's a little USB-C dongle. Memory card goes in there. Because this stupid piece of crap doesn't have any USBs in it or anything like that. In fact, it doesn't have anything in it. It's flipping crap. So the new MacBook Pros are junk, and you've got to have a dongle. This bit's fine, but if you knock it very slightly, the whole thing comes out, and your hard drives and all that connected come out. Your memory card, which, you know, if you've got a Mac, you've got to eject everything, ain't you? So this is an absolute joke. I just wish that stayed in. And you've literally got I've got a double one here. I've got the Anker one, which is like a bar that goes on the side, and that's like a double connector. It's got two of these. And literally, you've just got to tap it, and everything comes out. I absolutely flipping hate it. So yeah, 45 quid's worth of crap. I know they do one that's over £100, which is supposed to be very good, but at the end of the day, the end is still going to be the same. So I think it's going to be the same problem. But anyway, that's that. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Let me know if there's anything here that you have and you do like or you don't like, or if there's anything I've missed, anything that's cheap and that you do recommend. Let me know in the comments. I'm always... none of us have got any money at the minute, have we? But we all still like buying stuff. So if we could buy stuff that doesn't cost anything, then absolutely fantastic. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll see you again soon. Take care.